On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary. Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over to our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids right here. It gives me what do you call motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother, Big Sister is that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers, Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary. Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over to our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids right here. It gives me what do you call motivation.
Just on teaser, just make sure that the vendor check and see that he's never done an airline.
His family is coming at 7. I'll let it go a little bit late, so he was wondering, can we do the power?
These are so fun. They are.
Did you get your pin on?
That's what I was like, oh, I still forgot to put my pin on.
Need some help?
I gotta find it after I made that stink.
the red one tonight.
Of course I don't have it, no.
Those are nice rings.
Good evening. Open session is before we go to open session reconvening, do we have a motion to closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we do have just a little bit to finish on an agenda item in closed session. We'll be going back in for a little bit longer after this meeting. Time is 7:05. We'd like to start now with the Pledge of Allegiance. I could have sworn. Here we go. Let's have Myers Elementary School 4th grade student Azalea de la Cruz lead us in the pledge. Thank you.
Please stand and face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Thank you. And now, as part of Myers' strategic plan, building community and bringing in activities for our scholars, a cheerleading club, the Myers Dragon Cheerleaders, was created. One of Myers' parents, Mrs. Liz Lara, along with our librarian, Juliana Hernandez, proposed the idea after the Parent Summit in October. These cheerleaders cheer events like the Rube Goldberg Competition, Science Fair, Student of the Month assemblies, and more. They are being coached by former Myers alumni and Eisenhower cheer members, along with volunteer help from parents and our librarian. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the Myers Dragon Cheerleaders. Let's give them a round of applause.
And so while they're getting set up, real briefly, a brief background, and like as President Montes mentioned, this was spearheaded not only by our parents, but also a former Myers alumni, which is a true embodiment of giving back to the community. She did graduate from Myers Elementary, went on to Frisbee Middle School, and an alumni graduated in 2017 from Eisenhower High School. And she saw the need, called all our ladies and gentlemen, and along with the help of our parents, helped us fulfill this dream that some of our parents had. So with that, I'll introduce you to Ms. Laura, one of the parents that was instrumental for spearheading the Dragon Club.
Good evening, Rialto school board members, community, parents, Myers family. It's a great honor to be here before you with our first ever Myers cheer team. My original plan was we attended a summit, the educational summit, and I noticed that Myers lacked parent involvement. So with that said, there was time for change. In addition, I also noticed that there was an issue with bullying, self-esteem, and lack of leadership with our youth. So with that said, one of our basic goals as far as our mission is academic excellence, leadership, and community service. These young ladies, to include our boy Walter, promote that, and they know that it's about making everyone feel good, bringing good spirit, and doing for our community always, and with good heart. It's contagious. We've noticed quite a bit of change. The ladies' grades have improved, and I'll let Ms. Hernandez speak a little bit about our first event.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Ms. Hernandez. I'm the librarian at Myers Elementary. Our first event was the Rialto Christmas Parade. It went phenomenal. It happened fast, but we had the best parent involvement. We had our fathers and our mothers and our little sisters and our brothers and our cousins all helping us. We even went to one of our cheer moms' house to put it all together. They donated, they spent their time, and it just, I mean, we won first place. So all of that hard work really showed.
Last but not least, I'd like to introduce Ms. Brittany, our team mom, very instrumental with the collection of funds and fundraising. Ms. Gabby Pedroza, our Spanish translator, helping bring in our Spanish-speaking parents. So they're very inclusive, they know what's going on, and it's amazing. 45, this is just a little bit of our cheer team. There's 45, but unfortunately not all fit. So for the Myers that weren't able to make it, thank you so much. And one last little tidbit, our deepest condolences, Montes, Erlinda, and our thoughts and prayers. So here we go, enjoy, thank you.
Our team is what? Red hot. Our team is what? Red hot. Our team is R-E-T with a little bit of H-O-T. Go Dragons, R-E-D, red H-O-T, red hot, red hot, red hot. We are R-E-D, red H-O-T, red hot, red hot, red hot. One, you're the Dragons, ready? Okay. One, we are the Dragons. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we still can't hear you. We are number one. We are the Dragons. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we still can't hear you. We are number one. Last time. We are the Dragons. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we still can't hear you. We are number one.
Thank you.
Thank you, parents, guardians, coaches, and Principal Camarena.
Sure.
Next, we go to report of closed session.
Thank you, President Montes. We have 2 items. The Board of Education accepted the request for a leave of absence for classified employee number 1660619, February 1st, 2019 through March 22nd, 2019. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the request for a leave of absence for classified employee number 1212139, January 22nd, 2019 through May 30th, 2019. The roll call was as follows. Edgar Montes, President, yes. Nancy G. O'Kelly, Vice President, no. Dino Walker, Clerk, yes. Joseph Ayala, Member, yes. Joseph W. Martinez, Member, yes.
Next, we go to adoption of the agenda.
Move to adopt the agenda.
Point. Adopt the agenda as amended.
That's right.
We have a change in K 3.1. The only change is fiscal impact should read Fund 25 Capital Facilities Fund instead of Fund 40 Special Reserve Fund. Again, it is being now funded out of Fund 25 Capital Facilities Fund. Mr. President.
That is correct, and not out of Fund 40, which is a special reserve fund. Copies of the revised board item, reference K 3.1 through 2, are in the lobby. So we have a motion to approve as amended. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Oh, she had a preferential vote on that one.
Preferential vote, sorry.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next, we go to item B, presentation, and we'll go ahead and let our student board member take it away for Middle School District Student Advisory Committee DSAC presentations.
Thank you. First up, we have Cole Middle School. We have Austin Tig and Rachel Montanes.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and viewing audience. We hope your holidays were relaxing and filled with great memories. I am Austin Tig, the ASB Kolb Treasurer, and this is Rachel Montanez, our ASB 7th grade Vice President. This week, we celebrate all of the successes of our second quarter. Our Pizza with the Principal luncheon is tomorrow, and the awards assemblies celebrating academic and attendance accomplishments are Friday. Next week, we have Purple Easel returning to teach students who were principal honor roll both quarters, another fabulous piece of art. Our 8th graders had a great time learning about what to expect in a high school at the district's first annual Career Cruising Day. The Cougars were introduced to information from our feeder schools regarding their career pathways, programs, and requirements. We are now prepared to make decisions about our next 4 years. Our clubs continue to build our community relationships with family nights at our newly opened Renaissance Marketplace restaurants. Stay tuned to our Kolb Cougars social media pages for more information on our upcoming events at The Habit and Coffee Nuts. Next month, we begin our PBIS rewards trips. Our 6th graders are once again experiencing the big screen with a 3D IMAX feature on sea life and ecology. Our 7th graders are participating in a new offering by the Agua Caliente Clippers team. They'll be seeing a game versus the Austin Spurs, taking pictures on the court, and learning about healthy living. We're also excited to announce Kolb's first annual Knowledge Bowl, and literacy nights are set for next month. Our Knowledge Bowl will be offered to 7th and 8th graders through their social studies classes on February 20th. And our literacy night is open to our entire Cougars family and will show the connection of literacy across all areas of the curriculum. Remember, Cougars always loud and proud. Hashtag Kolb Cougars Family.
Next up, we have Jehu Middle School, Tanya Barajas.
Good evening, President Montes, Honorable Board of Education, and viewing audience. Superintendent Dr. Avila and viewing audience. I am Tanya Barajas, member of Jehu's ASB. We have kicked off the new year in true Jaguar style. The rain and the cold isn't keeping the Jaguars down. Nope, no penguins here. We have Drama Club in full swing working on their next production. BAM! Our mentoring program, led by the legendary Mr. Ed, is getting ready to meet with another 6th grade class for a classroom activity to foster a great sense of community on campus. The science department, led by Mrs. Burrell and Miss Carlson, hosted our annual family science night, which was a huge success last night. Big shout outs to our science fair winners who will be going to the district science fair. So give it up for Gabriela Rodriguez, Maria Jose Medina's Ordonez, and Haley Garcia, Janae Williams, Yahir Segoviano, Rema Valero, Anthony Alvarez, Brianna Barriga, Vanessa Carrion, and Karen Villanueva. Great job to our Jaguars. ASB is getting ready for a Monopoly game pep rally for our basketball teams. If you are up for a game and want to walk on Boardwalk, stop by next Friday, February 1st in the morning. On February 9th, 150 Jaguars will be invading Knott's Berry Farm on the annual semester trip. If you love Ghost Rider and can't get enough loops and death-defying plunges, let us know. We always love willing chaperones. If that isn't your speed and you are more of a mojo potato person, on February 23rd and 3rd, 50 of our white trade ticket winners for PBIS will be headed to Shakey's Pizza as a reward for exhibiting behavior that follows our 3 B's, which is to be respectful, to be responsible, and to be safe. Before that, however, all of our students are invited to our annual Sweethearts Dance on Valentine's Day, so put on your dancing shoes and stop by. What else is going on? Well, we are having a lunchtime activity this Friday, where students get to listen to music and play games during lunch. Throw on some camo gear and come on over for some fun. Our next one is February 22nd, so check out the school website for the Spirit Day and head to Jehu to be a Jaguar for the day. We hope you can stop by or join us on a trip to share in the fun of our pride. This is Tanya Barajas signing off with Jehu's school motto, giving our best, never settling for less. Have a great evening, everybody.
And next up, we have from Rialto Middle School, Tatiana Vargas and Caitlin Fujiwara.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, members of the Cabinet, and our viewing audience. My name is Tatiana Vargas, and I am the proud 8th grade Vice President of Rialto Middle School.
And I am Caitlin Fujiwara, ASB Secretary for the Fantastic Tigers. Kaiser Permanente presented their Someone Like Me assembly to our 6th graders this month, sharing thoughts on cyberbullying and student depression and prevention strategies. Honor Roll Assembly will be on the 31st, recognizing all our scholars and those with perfect attendance. The honor roll incentive trip to Knott's Berry Farm will be on February 8th. Still looking for a chaperone. Anyone interested? President Montez, I know you have fond memories of when you chaperoned that event.
Oh, yes.
It is what good parents do, and we thank you again. Our school-wide science fair award night is tomorrow, where we will recognize those moving on to the district fair in February.
Looking for a little excitement this Saturday? The University of Riverside Women in Engineering will be working with our teachers and students on building a better egg vessel. Students will build a capsule to protect the egg from a second-story drop. Only the strong will survive. Basketball season kicks off next week on the 30th, and we are looking forward to some home games to cheer on our boys and girls team. Games will begin at 2 o'clock if you want to stop by. Our STEM team will be competing in the county-wide Rube Goldberg contest. They are building a machine to put a coin in a piggy bank with no less than 10 energy transfer steps. Good luck to them on February 13th.
And that is all we have.
Thank you. Next we go to item B3, and that's I'm sorry. Item B2, and that's Mr. Aaron Thomas, Carter High School teacher, California League of High Schools Teacher of the Year at the county level recognition.
Hello there. Long time no see. This is a real pleasure for me to present this to Aaron because he and I worked together at Carter High School back in 2004 and 2005. So, and I've already attended the California League of High Schools Teacher of the Year dinner. So it's wonderful to have him here tonight. Tonight we are so proud to honor our San Bernardino County Schools California League of High Schools Teacher of the Year regional winner, Mr. Aaron C. Thomas, who is an AP Statistics Scholars Math and Math Honors teacher at Carter High School. On Thursday, November 15th, 2018, the Ontario Airport in Ontario was full capacity with more than 200 attendees cheering for 13 teachers from various county schools competing for the California League of High Schools Teacher of the Year regional honor. This lone 37-year-old bypassed the rest and impressed the county judges on the spot with his speech on the style of teaching, which included relationships, rigor, and relatable communication on a subject where there was always room for strategic teaching, with a dash of humor. Born in the city of Upland, Mr. Thomas was raised in Rialto by parents Christine Leader and Joseph Thomas Jr. He is a graduate of Rialto High School, class of 1999. That's okay, I won't hold that against you.
Which one? Which high school?
Rialto High School. Mr. Thomas attended the University of Nebraska, Lincoln on a bowling scholarship. He graduated from UCR magna cum laude with a bachelor's degree in pure mathematics in 2003. After obtaining a teaching credential from UCR in 2004, he graduated from Cal State San Bernardino with a master's degree in mathematics in 2009. Mr. Thomas began working in the Rialto district in 2003 as a math teacher at Rialto High School. After a year, he transferred to Carter High School and has been at the home of the Lions for 15 years. Married to Monica Thomas, going on 11 years, the couple has 3 children, Koa Velasco, Abigail Thomas, and Danica Thomas, and I see they're all here, so why don't you come up and stand up here with your dad. On the very few moments that he has free time, Mr. Thomas enjoys watching movies, bowling, playing chess, and poker. When asked about his teaching style, Mr. Thomas said, "I teach the way I was taught, which is very lecture-oriented, but I make sure to tie in activities and engagement strategies so that I cover all modalities and learning styles. I'm lucky in that the majority of my students are very motivated and always engaged, so I can spend a lot more of my time focused on material, problem solving, and real-life applications." He added, "I was nominated by my principal, Dr. Patricia Chavez. I felt very honored and humbled for winning this award. I show up to work each day and just do what's best for the kids, and I put in the extra time when needed. Teaching has always been more to me than just a job, and it's nice when others see all the hard work that I put into it." Dr. Chavez stated, "It is teachers like Mr. Thomas who inspire, motivate, and mentor our students to reach their full potential. Mr. Thomas is an AP Stats teacher with impressive AP test results. In that respect, he has made an impact. But for Mr. Thomas, that wasn't enough. On top of his impressive AP results during these last 2.5 years, Mr. Thomas has helped create and implement the Scholars Program at Carter. It is an avid program for our GATE students. He understands what it means to create supports for all students and pursues that ideal with relentlessness. We are fortunate to have Mr. Thomas on the Carter team supporting and truly loving our students." After a testimonial like that, Mr. Thomas, all we can do is echo Dr. Chavez's words. The district is also very fortunate that not only are you the County California League of High Schools Teacher of the Year, but that your passion for students shine through their proven results. So we want to thank you, first of all. And I want to mention that in Mr. Thomas's speech for the California League of Schools Teacher of the Year Award, he talked about being a gifted student. And people automatically think, well, gifted students, what do they need? You know, they can do anything. They have a lot of needs, and he addresses those needs so that the kids can shine to their fullest potential. And I knew that when I was working with him, but we definitely know it now. So thank you very much, Mr. Aaron Thomas. And this is your plaque. It says Rialto Unified School District Certificate of Recognition, presented on January 23rd, 2019 to Aaron C. Thomas, Carter High School Teacher, Teacher of the Year, California League of High Schools, San Bernardino County. Would you like to say a few words?
If he wants to say a few words, and then we can get the board picture with him.
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
I teach 4 or 5 periods a day, and I don't like crowds. Yes, just thank you very much for this huge honor. Ms. O'Kelly pretty much said it all. It's like I show up, and even now, like getting my 15 minutes of fame, I still don't feel like I deserve it because I do what everyone else does. I thank my family because they put up with everything, and they've sacrificed a lot when I have to grade papers, or if, you know, where's Dad? He's on the computer. So thank you very much, guys. And yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, us too? Oh,
Wait a minute, we're missing the president of the REAs. Are they here today?
Yeah, she's in the back, but you might want to use the mic, so you're on camera.
Ms. Lindbergh, if you're here, we'd like to have you join us for a picture.
She's running.
Thank you.
If everybody can get a little bit closer. Oh, I love it. Yay. Big smiles.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Indulge in the thing.
Rialto. Oh, now data.
Next, we go to item B3, and that's the California School Dashboard presentation by Mr. John Roach, Lead Academic Technology Agent.
Good evening, President Montes, members of the board, Dr. Avila, members of cabinet, and everyone in the viewing audience. My name is John Roach. I'm the lead academic technology agent, and one of my roles is to be over data and assessment. And one of the biggest changes we have right now has been the update of the California School Dashboard. The purpose of tonight's presentation is kind of two-part. One is to go over the dashboard and the changes with you, not only to help you, but also our community to understand how to interpret some of the data, as well as kind of going through some of just the overall district level data, and then answer any questions that you may have about it. So after a couple slides, there is a short video. I think it does a good job from the state of kind of setting the stage of the mindset behind the dashboard. And so with that, I'll go ahead and begin. So the California School Dashboard, it is something that was designed to try to be an online tool to help share the information and have a common data reporting about all K-12 schools. There is the web address that everyone can access the California School Dashboard at any time. The idea is to make it easy to read. I will say that when I shared this presentation recently, we had some vibrant discussion as to whether or not it's easy to read. But that's why I'm here to hopefully kind of make it just a little bit easier for everybody. So with that, I'm going to share the video from the CDE about the California School Dashboard.
Welcome to the California School Dashboard. Let the conversations begin.
How many students graduated on time at my son's high school?
Are students learning what they need to in English and math?
What's our district doing to get more parents and families engaged in real ways?
The California School Dashboard is the place you can get more information about each of these questions and more. The dashboard helps us all, parents, families, students, teachers, see how well our schools and students are doing and where improvement is needed.
I heard fewer students got suspended last year. Is that true?
What's my district doing to make sure students and teachers feel safe?
Think of the dashboard as the ultimate conversation starter. The information helps us talk to each other and with teachers and school leaders about what actually is going on in our schools. It helps us think about what additional questions we want to ask and where to find those answers.
Like what programs are working well in our district?
Or what's being done to help students who are falling behind?
Or which schools need more attention?
Right. The dashboard provides information that helps us have more informed conversations that lead to better planning and better results for kids.
Plus, it's an important way to hold our schools accountable, to see if they're making progress over time.
That seems like a lot to ask.
It is. But the future success of all our kids and our state depends on how well our schools are doing. It all starts with looking up your schools and learning more.
So start looking.
And let the conversations begin.
You can find more information about the California School Dashboard at www.casschooldashboard.org. This video was produced for the California Department of Education by Californians dedicated to Education Foundation.
So our state is sending a clear message that it's about the conversation. While we understand that the data is there and it's going to be updated once a year, and they've made changes to try to improve it to where you'll get data more frequently, or I shouldn't say more frequently, more timely after the end of a school year, it's really about using that data to have those conversations. You'll remember that it's really focused around 6 different measures that allow comparison. So you have academic performance, English learner progress, college and career readiness, which is the college and career indicator, chronic absenteeism, high school graduation rate, and suspension rate. Now, one thing you'll learn too when you look at the dashboard is that they've caught up a year. There are some areas where when the dashboard was released, we had not seen a year worth of data because we were waiting for the 2017, and they actually brought forward and released 2017 and 2018. That's a good thing, but for some of our schools, they were planning on one piece of data coming out, and then maybe it wasn't exactly what they expected when it came out. You'll remember the color-coded levels in the past. It was those old-fashioned Trivial Pursuit type of game pieces, and they've made a change in the dashboard now to where it's more of a speedometer approach. So the same leveling, the same color codes, but now instead of it being on the one graphic, it's more of a speedometer as well. In addition, there's 5 local measures. So basic conditions, which is the facilities, materials, and teachers, implementation of academic standards, school climate surveys, parent involvement and engagement, and access to courses. And this, you'll remember that I did a presentation back on November 14th where each of those 5 elements, it was reported as to whether we met, did not meet, or did not meet for 2 years. And as long as we continue to be reflective on those local measures, you'll find out that we'll continue to meet them because it's really meant to be that process that helps us decide where to go next. One thing they've done is they've provided quite a bit of parent resources as well, because if the dashboard is meant to be easy to read, we want to make sure people can interpret it. So there is actually a web address. They've actually had a few. I finally found the easiest one to remember. But when we post this online, basically the cde.ca.gov/dashboard. But I've also found it by just searching California School Dashboard Parent, and then that first link that tends to come up is that as well. And there's a Parents tab. So there's a whole page full of resources. But if, as a parent, they wanted to select and get the actual resources that have more tutorial guides and how to interpret and what the data means, it's there as well. Here's an example of what the state has put together. So they have kind of some graphics to go along with it, as well as a short explanation of each of the areas. I'm not going to actually read all the information for you there, but just kind of give you an idea of those 6 different measures. You can see they've put together a short little synopsis of what makes up that piece of data, as well as sometimes there's links within it where they could then go and look at additional resources if they would like. So there were those 6. Navigating the dashboard, it's similar as far as what happened last year. You can just go to californiaschooldashboard.org and you land at this page where you have to just simply put in the district or the school that you're looking for, and then you'll select search. And what happens here is you get a long list if you just put in Rialto. And I just want to make sure everyone knows that that's just the filtered list. You have 33 results for Rialto because it includes all of our schools as well as support buildings and sites. But Rialto Unified is the 4th one down if you wanted to look at just the district. Schools have different data than the district has overall, mainly because if they're in elementary, they won't show graduation rate or the college and career indicator. But you can actually either search on any school or district. This is what it looked like last year when you first went into the dashboard. That was called the equity report, and they've actually completely changed and overhauled the way that it looks now. What you now see is something that looks like this. So, and it's a very long scrolling page. So while I didn't want to do the live here in front of everyone, I wanted to kind of go through each piece. But first it gives you just that visual representation of where the district is performing based on the color-coded charts in each area, as well as gives you the 5 local indicators that you self-report. As you scroll down the page, you get some information about the district. You'll probably notice it has socioeconomically disadvantaged, English learners, and foster youth. This is very aligned to the Local Control Accountability Plan, or the LCAP, because as you start to scroll further, first area you come to is academic performance, which is one of the 3 clusters of the LCAP. Here's where we want to make sure everyone's interpreting the data correctly. The first 2 indicators on the left are actually everything on the page is a widget that you can do additional data dive with. But what you want to pay attention to is here, you'll notice that for, say, English Language Arts, it says 49.3 points below standard, and we increased 7.1 points. Both of the English and the math are point-based. They are not percentage. And yet, as I go through different meetings and different opportunities to talk to parents, everybody sees 7.1 and they think it's 7.1%. It is not. Because you'll remember a couple years ago talking about that distance from standard, which would be standard met, and everybody gets a number, a scale score, as whether they're below or above that standard. So our district, you can see, is 43.9 points below. That's different than if you look at college and career, which is clearly a percentage, and you can see that we increased 2.3%. The good news is you look at these indicators, the first ones that you come across on the dashboard, we increased in each area. There is not a status and change for the English learner progress because we had the new test. So previously we had the CELT. Now we love acronyms in education, right? Now we have the LPAC. And so what happens is we will not actually see color-coded chart until they have 3 years of data, which would be in 2021. As we move down the page, then you start to see, again, academic engagement, which is one of the clusters of LCAP, conditions of climate. And again, here you can see...
Roach,
yes?
Could you give the public the long LCAP? What does that mean?
I knew you were going to say that.
You knew.
And I was hoping that Marina might be here because my mind went blank. Let's see if it says it there. English Language Proficiency Assessment for California. I used my clues on the page. Thank you. Each of the other areas you'll see here, it shows increased on chronic absenteeism, increase in graduation rate, and decline in suspension rate. But that's actually a good thing, right? Because there are certain indicators on the dashboard we want to see decrease. So when we decrease, it's the way we want. Opposite on chronic absenteeism, we went up. Really, we want to see a decreased in chronic absenteeism. But that's a new indicator. We had not seen that data before. This is the first year they've released it, and they released multiple years of data with it. So now that we know what it looks like, we've been working on how to really track that internally so we can predict what we will see on the dashboard. So each of those little pieces are a widget. And I picked one, graduation rate, because when I see increased 4%, I like that. It also was a widget that had good balance in the equity report. But if you're navigating the dashboard, each of those widgets gives you an opportunity to look at more data. For example, you can toggle between the district and the state data. So it looks like this. And if I compare the two, this is another area where we need to make sure everyone understands. If you look at our data as a district for English Language Arts, let's say, we're in the color code of yellow, but we were 43.9 points below standard. But the state is in orange. And it doesn't make sense because by the color code, you would think we were outperforming the state. Right. But you can see we were 43.9 points, the state was 6 points, but they maintained. And so it's still based on those original charts of status and change over time. Yes?
And so, in other words, the English Language Arts looked better because they increased rather than decreased or stayed the same? Okay.
Absolutely. So the way those color-coded charts work, the more you increase, and if you increase at a higher percentage or a higher number, you move further over on that speedometer. It's like making your car go faster, right? We did it quicker and faster, I accelerated, and that color chart will move over. So you can toggle between the district and state. You know that you can view that color-coded performance chart. You can view the current status. You can view the change. So that's what makes up the color-coded chart is the status and change. You have an equity report. And right there you think there's not a lot of information. So what you need to do is you select to view more details. And that takes you to another page that basically is all the information about that specific criteria or that specific widget. So here you can see if I stayed with graduation rate, now I see the number of students, and that's important because what we're finding is if we compare the data from the dashboard to DataQuest, which is another data source that we use in schools, the numbers won't match up because they use different cohorts of students. See, remember, we started with it's meant to be easy to interpret, right? So just be aware of that. If you see other data in front of you and those numbers don't match, it can also be because of how it's calculated and which students are made up. As you scroll down the page on a specific area, so I'm still on graduation rate, now you start to see your student groups organized by that color code. When you see no performance color, it's because most likely the student number is not high enough that they can report it without there's a concern for confidentiality of the students that are involved. So the smaller the number, tends to be under 30, they won't report that data. As you scroll a little bit further, you get more widgets. So you get the ability to now, this is a portion of the page. You can see up on the very top where it says toggle between those color coded, right? So I am on orange and it shows me the student groups that make up and were color coded orange. I can switch to yellow and I can look at the students that are identified yellow. I can switch to green and then I can switch to blue. And now I can get more detailed information on each of those student groups and know what their actual data was related to that performance area. All right, that's a lot. Sometimes on certain ones, if you scroll a little further down the page, you'll also see they've provided a chart. So here's just an example of the graduation rate chart that shows that we were at 86% in 2017, and then we grew to 90% in 2018. There are a lot of additional reports now. And I know that the average user won't go and explore those additional reports, but it's still good to know where to find them. What happens as you start to navigate the page of the dashboard, you'll see these different icons. They kind of appear and disappear. If I'm scrolling actively, they disappear. When I stop, they'll reappear. But I can go back to an overview. I can look at specific schools. I can generate a PDF report on any page that I want on the dashboard, or I can actually even say, print me everything for every report that is related to this district or school. I can view all schools, or I can view additional reports, and that's kind of where I just want to show everyone, because some of the reports that were in the previous dashboard, you have to go to view additional reports, and you get a list that looks like this. And I'm not going to take the time to go through all of those because we'd be here all night. But what happens is that student group report on the bottom is really what was the equity report in the past. So whereas you used to go into the dashboard and land on the splash page that was actually the equity report, now it's an additional report. And all that this does right here is it shows us all the student groups, those 6 areas, those six data elements that make up the dashboard, and it shows you their color code. This is important because based on here, this is what identifies a district for differentiated assistance from the county. You basically have to have reds in 2 different state priorities. So if you're red in, say, English language arts and math and another area, then that student group would be identified for differentiated assistance. Last year, you'll probably remember, we were both as African American and for our foster youth. And you can see by looking at the new equity chart that we have been moved out of differentiated assistance based on the data that was released. So we see things going in the right direction. We see some blues in that area, as well as if you look at the individual schools, you'll see we have one of our schools, Trapp Elementary, that was blue in English language arts. And now the county's reaching out to districts saying, what are you doing that created that blue school, right? That's what they're calling them, or the area of blue. So we're excited when we see blue. We're excited when we see more green. So with that, I'll share the web address one more time because I think it's something that everyone wants to be able to look at and really take time to digest. And I'll answer any questions that you have.
Oh, so what happened to the president?
We have another report coming. Oh, we have another one? Okay. Well, for the questions. Anybody like to ask Mr. Roach any questions?
So just, I mean, I know what the changes and how it's viewed. It's a little confusing for people to really understand, really how are we performing, because it's not measuring, it still is just about what the growth was versus where are we based on where we should be. So that's really confusing, and I think that for families, they really need to be able to know and understand, especially what their individual child, how their individual child is doing. So with that said, is there a way that if a family did not receive their report in the mail, how would they go about getting their report for their individual child from the district?
That's a great question. It came up at the parent meeting as well, and I'm glad you asked it. So they can contact my office here at the district. Basically, my name is, just a reminder, John Roach, and I'm in the assessment office. We have the ability, a parent has to come in person because we have to verify who they are, and we can reprint any of their reports that were related to the state testing so they can actually get them. Because many times what happens is they get it mailed home at the beginning of the year. As we have more discussions, they can't find it, right? Doesn't always end up on the refrigerator or somewhere. And we can provide that report for them.
Excellent. Thank you.
Can I mention one other thing about that that's important for the board to know as well as the community? The state is moving towards electronic files when it comes to their state report. So it's really important that, remember last year how we had all parents have to register online. That was really a step towards the state is working with all of the student information systems around the state to pair up to where when they do the reports at the end of the year, rather than printing, they'll send us a digital file and we will have to go through and link it up with that parent login for the student. That way, if it comes 6 months later and they need to find it, it would actually already be attached to the student record that they have a login for.
Thanks.
Great report.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Last in presentations, items B, number 4, presentation by Mrs. Tina Henton, CPA, Principal, Clinton Larson Allen, LLP, regarding the fiscal year 2017-2018 annual audited financial report. Are you going to need the, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I am not. Thank you.
Oh, you're not?
No. I'm just going to talk.
Okay.
I'll attempt. First off, thank you very much for having me here tonight. I will attempt to be brief. I'm really just here to give you a summary of the results of your annual audit. As I am sure you are aware, this audit is required each year by both California Education Code as well as federal uniform guidance requirements. So this audit process begins each year with a meeting with management. We spend time talking about the plan, scope, and timing of the audit. This audit is very comprehensive. It includes all funds under the district's jurisdiction, so that includes not only your general fund, but of course your bond funds, your associated student body funds. We also are required to look at various topics in state compliance, as well as your federal programs. So it is really a very comprehensive review. At the conclusion of the audit, we meet with management to discuss the results, and I want to give you some highlights of this very large document that you have in front of you. Our opinion on the financial statements is unmodified. This is the highest and best opinion that we can render, and what it means is that the amounts that you see here are fairly presented, that the district has followed all of the appropriate accounting standards, and that all the required disclosures are included. So it's really an excellent opinion to receive. The biggest difference and change that you will notice in the audit report this year is really related to the implementation of Government Accounting Standard 75, and this is related to how you report your liability for your post-employment benefits, so those retiree medical benefits. Formerly, under the old standards, you had been showing this liability coming on to your balance sheet slowly over time, so each year that liability would go up a little bit. With GASB 75, the new requirement is that the entire amount is recognized immediately in this year of implementation. So what you see as a result is that your liability increased $23 million, and there is a total of about $30 million sitting on the government-wide financial statements as a liability for your post-employment medical.
Question?
Oh, yes, of course.
So if I understood that correctly, we can no longer use pay-go, pay-as-we-go.
Well, actually, I think you are still totally allowed to use pay-as-you-go and the funding. This standard, much like the last standard, does not require that you fund this liability. And what it's asking, or what's requiring you to do, is recognize it.
Okay.
So I said last year, you will see there was only about $7 million on your balance sheet as a liability, but now all $30 million is sitting here. That is, you know, you could find that number in the notes last year, but now it's actually on the financial statements. And then, of course, I'm still talking about the change in your pension liability, STRS and PERS. The costs there continue to increase. So this year, your district saw your combined PERS and STRS liability increase about $43 million, and your total proportionate, we call it your proportionate share of the STRS and PERS unfunded liability, is $289 million. So between those two, that resulted in a net negative unrestricted net position on your government-wide financial statements. I guess my disclosure is that many districts are in this exact same position. I really find that it's the very, very small districts that are able to not be as impacted with this, or your districts that are basic aid. So your financial statements look similar to probably 90% of the other districts that are out there. So that is where we're at with that. With your general fund, we saw that increase for 17-18. We had a net income there of $7 million, and you continue to meet that recommended reserve percentage of 3%. I direct you to, I direct you to page 64 of the audit report. That is a nice trend analysis for you, and there you can see the activity of the general fund. It will show the activity for 17-18, the 2 previous years, and what was at the original adopted budget for 18-19. And you can see the change in the general fund over time and the recommended reserve percentage there. So that's a nice handy snapshot of the activity of the general fund over the last 3 years. We had no audit adjustments this year, so what that means is the information that you approved as part of the unaudited actuals in September is the exact same information that you have here. It might be presented a little differently because we are required to report, under government accounting standards, but the amounts, the ending fund balances are indeed the same. We did have some findings. Those begin on page 84. We had one internal control finding related to the Frisbee Middle School ASB, and then we also had 2 state compliance findings related to the school accountability report cards, or the SARCs, and also the instructional materials public hearing. And also on those pages you can see management's response to those findings and the plan to the correction plan. In addition to your normal or your required annual audit, we also complete the audit of your bond funds, your Measure Y bond funds. We have completed that as well and have issued unmodified opinions for both the financial audit and the performance audit. So with a performance audit, the question that we're answering there is, did you do what you said you were going to do? So the bond measure had requirements, or it had a representation to the voters that said, when you approve this bond, here are the projects that we are going to do with this bond money. And that's what the performance audit really focused on, is we pull a selection of expenditures. This year we tested 7.7 million of your bond expenditures, and it was about 62% of the total expenditures for the year. Again, we issued an unmodified opinion. Our results were that all expenditures that were tested were indeed in line with the approved voter bond language. I think that's really it. Of course, I always take time to publicly thank, of course, Mohammed, Diane, and their wonderful staff. This is, as I mentioned earlier, a very comprehensive process. I call it an annual audit. Yes, it happens once a year, but really it takes all year to complete. And so without their help, it really would be much more difficult. So we really, as always, appreciate the support that we get from your district staff. With that, I'll open it up for any comments or questions.
Earlier, you said, I heard the word negative. Is that negative certification, negative?
It's a negative unrestricted net position, and you will see it on page 2 at the almost the very bottom, the second to the last number there. You can see that there are amounts that are restricted because you have, programs that all you can use it for is that specific program, so those amounts are restricted. You have amounts that are, I'll say, tied up in your capital assets and other things that you can't spend because they're not liquid. And the remainder is sitting there in unrestricted. And these liabilities that you and all other districts are having to recognize are causing that to kind of go out of balance. So you can see that big negative number that sits there.
Just so everybody understands exactly what negative restricted net position means, can you explain that for a second?
Yes, this is the negative. It's unrestricted.
Negative,
right?
unrestricted net position.
So really, essentially, it is just it's basically just the difference between your assets and your liabilities. So you take that, you subtract the liabilities from the assets, and whatever's left is your net position. And in this case, your liabilities outweigh your assets, and that's why there is a negative.
Is that something we should be trying to reverse?
I don't think, unless somehow you are able to fix STRS and PERS in their unfunded position, I am not sure how you would do that. And quite honestly, this is really a reporting model, right? This includes these 2 pages that I'm talking about here include all your funds combined. Not just your general fund, which is why I said let's look at that other page that is just the activity of your general fund, because quite honestly that is really what is going to tell you about the financial health of the district and how and whether you're able to meet your current obligations.
If Governor Newsom's budget is approved, he allocated quite a bit of money to assist districts on a one-time basis with their STRS and PERS. Have you heard about that and how we can expect that to affect us?
This is always a caveat that I give to all my districts, because the number one question that I get, and this is why I still continue to talk about it, is I'm asked, will we continue to pay higher and higher percentages, contributions to PERS and STRS? Why is my liability not going down? And the truth of the matter is this is a very volatile liability. It is extremely impacted by the market results and the investment results of STRS and PERS. Also, the data that we have here, we derived this data from data that is more than a year old. And it's only because that's as fast as STRS and PERS can put out those audited reports. So this 2018 report is, your 2018 number is based on a 2017 audit report that is 2016 census data.
Okay.
So it really is I said it's a volatile number because it's so impacted by investment performance, but it also takes years for you to start to see the impact because of the lag in reporting time.
Okay.
So I would love to tell you that in 1 year you would see a turnaround, but it is quite possible that you could see a good spike, and the very next year, if the market has a downturn, you could be right back to where you were. it's really just going to be a much more volatile liability going forward.
Wow.
So if I understand right, deficit spending for education will continue throughout the nation, throughout the state for sure.
Well, this result on these government-wide statements is more than likely going to continue.
Thank you. What I do like about the report, it is more transparent for the public, for those who wish to go through this inch and a half. Yeah. I love it, but most people don't.
Well, obviously, I love it, right? But
we've had that discussion.
It's very good bedtime reading.
You will be asleep in 10 minutes, I guarantee it.
And if you don't mind, Mr. Ayala has a comment.
Please. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Ms. Hinton, for sharing the information, because it is very, very important to this district. It's really easy to fall asleep at the helm, so to speak, especially in calm waters. But I have not forgotten the times that we had to put out layoff notices maybe 6-8 years ago for 130 plus teachers, and it was hard to do that because they were not going to be picked up or hired anywhere else. And so because you're here and a lot of us are other places, if there's any other recommendations that you could give, such as what indicators do other school districts use that maybe we have not used, that kind of like that crystal ball that could assist us to stay on course. If need be, we send our representatives to special conferences to stay on top of this, because this type of information needs to be passed on to our unions, because in the past they don't always support those first in. They're the last in, first to go out, and it's painful. I don't know. I think there's better ways to handle it. You look at what's happening in Los Angeles. I hope they're paying attention to what they're asking for, because you have to balance. This money just doesn't fall out of the sky, and all it takes is certain issues, like the real estate goes down, or gasoline prices go up. We're a bedroom community here with warehousing. There's not a lot of employees in those buildings. So I know somebody knows this information a lot better than the average Joe. So if you can help us in any way, I mean, I think everybody here would welcome that assistance. And we're so happy that we're unmodified. But
yes,
we don't want to take any chances and have to lay off 100 employees. That's one of the toughest times to be here.
Oh, I remember that downturn in the economy, and I think it was longer and deeper than I had seen in the 20 years that I've been doing it. Correct. And it was very, very painful for every one of my districts that I work with. It was
a domino effect.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Yeah.
So I said, I think your management continues to do what they should be doing. They are going to those conferences. I mean, that's really how you find out. You're going to those school services conferences. You're staying on top of the information that's coming out of both the county and the state. And that's really about all you can do, because if any of us had that crystal ball, we would have used it long time ago.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Henn. Alrighty. Next we go to item C on the agenda, and that brings us to comments. Item C1, public comments from the floor. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. We've got everybody checked off here for items not on the agenda and one not on the agenda. So just for clarification, Mrs. Bailey, Paula Bailey, did you want to speak on an item on the agenda or not on the agenda? Is Ms. Paula Bailey here? Item not on the agenda?
Item not on the agenda.
Okay, you go first.
Well, good evening. I know it's been a little bit. Superintendent, board members, of course, President Montes. I'm here tonight because I also work for a children's mental health agency. I work with very challenged kiddos that have been through lots of stuff, as you've heard. And recently we've had a few of our families have a little bit of a challenge on the family's end, and the staff in the special ed department for preschool in the RPAT, the school psychologists, are absolutely amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for having two amazing people. Lorena Santos and Claudia Hernandez are just, you can tell how passionate they are, and they have made things much better for my end with these kiddos, you know, trauma background and so forth, to get these kiddos the services they need. You know, if my parents are not on it, we're all working together to make sure these kiddos are getting what they need. Because sometimes the parents are not able to push like they need to, but they're really focused on these kiddos and getting them where they need to be now instead of waiting.
So is this board here.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody for having those two and many of the other school psychologists that I get to work with. I'm super proud when I hear a family is here. I'm like, okay, no, why do you need to be in that district? Why do you want to go to that charter school? You know, let's work together in how we can get this figured out. Because it's all about teamwork. So I just want to say thank you. Happy New Year. Haven't talked to you all year. And I'm sure it's going to be a fabulous year. Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Bailey.
Thank you.
Miss Bailey, sorry. Next we go to Mrs. Jennifer Wilson.
One second.
Okay, good evening, parents, guardians, and school board members, Superintendent Dr. Avila. My name is Jennifer Wilson, and I'm here tonight because I'm addressing the bullying situations that are going on within the school district. My daughter is a senior at Eisenhower High School. She's been a student with Rialto School District since 2006. During my daughter's 8th grade year, she attended Rialto Middle School, where a student pushed her down the stairs, and my daughter not only damaged her knee, but she fractured her ankle. She was transferred to Cole Middle School for her safety. Mr. Roach was the principal at the time, and he in fact wrote out a statement saying that there was proof of severe bullying and harassment. Over the years, my daughter has been continuously bullied by the exact same student. Fast forward to April 2016. My world was almost turned upside down. I walked in on my daughter attempting to hang herself in her closet with a scarf around her neck. The impact that it had on all of us as a family, as well as her friends, has been indescribable. She's still seeing a counselor and psychiatrist through the school. You can look her up in the system. Her story is there. I have to ask you a question, Dr. Avila. When was the last time you stepped foot on a school ground? What's it going to take? The death of a child? I don't think you want that on your hands. Do you have kids? Do you? From one parent to another, please do something. I'm here for her. When I heard her story of her daughter being bullied and being attacked at school, I don't want to see another child go through what I went through watching my daughter with that scarf around her neck. It's not fair when she's only 12 and my daughter's 18 and she's still going through it till this day. She doesn't want to go to school. I could have lost my daughter. I could have lost my daughter. And to see that nothing's being done, even now, 4 years, 5 years later, to see that other kids are going through the same thing, if not worse. On video, my daughter was posted on video of a student spitting on her, and it was posted on Instagram. Nothing has been done, but minor transfer my daughter for her safety. When my daughter has good grades, my daughter has, in all the different programs, she's in dance. She dances with the folklorical classes. She's in hip hop classes. Why transfer my daughter when she's got good grades? Why not transfer the kids that are causing the problems? What's it gonna take? Like I said, I could have lost my daughter. If this means anything, please, see what you could do. I was here for the last meeting, and you said that you were gonna get back to her, and you haven't. Nothing's been done. It's not fair. I'm sorry, but from one parent to another, please do something. It's disappointing to have to come here the way I am, upset, and have to come to you like this one-on-one. I'm looking right at you. Please do something. Thank you.
Next name? You want to call the next person?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Next we go to Maria Baena.
Good evening, board members and audience. Thank you in advance for your time and attention. My name is Maria Baena. This is my husband, Caesar. We have 2 daughters, ages 6 and 8 in Morgan Elementary. We are here to address the lack of safety for our students due to the inefficiency of the yard duty system. Last month, our little girl and her best friend witnessed 2 boys engage in a fist fight right in front of them. My daughter tells me that she and her friend ran all the way to the principal's office to call him out to stop the fight. Sadly, by the time someone in the office was located and they all came back to the playground, the fight had ended and each boy was off in his own direction. I asked my daughter why she didn't just go to a yard duty, and she said she didn't because they never do anything. This was the second time I had heard this from my girls, and it caused great concern for my husband and I. The first time was a couple months prior. My 6-year-old was getting chased by boys on the playground. One morning she cried because she didn't want to go to school because she was afraid. I encouraged her to call on the yard duties, and after 3 days of this, she repeated that nobody did anything for her. Nobody helped her. Her frustrated little voice made me realize that it was time to come in and speak to her teacher about it. Her teacher personally went out to the playground during her break time to speak to the boys and handle the situation. Since that day, my daughter hasn't had any more problems. After my daughter told us about the fight, my husband and I went in to speak to our principal because it really concerned us that our children were not being heard. We inquired about the training the yard or noon duties have for the supervision they provide, and were very disappointed to find out it is little to none. We think it is absolutely unacceptable that yard duties are out there supervising hundreds of children in the playground without proper training or qualifications. And it is absolutely unacceptable that we feel that our kids are not safe. Just last week, I was informed by our principal that they will be having monthly meetings to train yard duties with the PBIS Rewards program, which is a really good program. But unfortunately, we feel that this is a reactive versus proactive measure. Positive reinforcement for children is important. Positive acknowledgement and words of praise are essential to a child's development. I understand that fully, and it's a really good thing that a lot of schools in Rialto are making use of it and benefiting from it. So if the yard duties are going to be trained on how to give rewards and points, are they also going to be trained on how to properly separate 2 children engaged in a fight? Are they trained to look for signs of bullying? Are they trained to spot children who are in distress in the playground? And if so, do they know how to deal with the situation properly? Do they know the consequences for chasing or running or hurting other kids? And do they know how to implement them? The ratio of children to adult out there on the playground is 65 to 1. 65 children to 1 adult. Are there enough yard duties in the playground to properly care for all of our children? If my 3rd grader feels that the yard duties won't help her or exercise her authority out there, so much so that she felt the need to run all the way to the front of the campus to the principal's office to get help the day of the fight, what are a lot of other kids getting away with out there? Kids are way too smart, and if they see weakness, they will take advantage of it, and unfortunately, the timid children are the ones that are going to pay the price. We are here advocating for the safety of all the children in Morgan Elementary and the Rialto School District. I know there's good people out there on the playground, and perhaps they're trying their very best to do their job, but are they being set up for success? Are you, as administrators, providing them with the tools and resources they need to confidently and effectively do their job? So our question to you is, are you willing and able to provide more thorough training for our yard duties so they will be competent and better equipped in dangerous situations? And if you're not able to provide that, what can you do to address this concern of many parents and students? Thank you. Before I go, I would just like to say thank you to Mohammed, because I did get a call from our principal this afternoon letting us know that we have dates of completion for a lot of repairs that are going to be done at our school. So thank you, Mohammed, for that. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Baena. Next, we go to Natalia Gutierrez. I'm sorry.
Good evening, good evening, President Montes, Superintendent Dr. Avila, board members, parents, and community members. My name is Natalia Gutierrez. I'm PTSA president and member of the School Site Council at Morgan Elementary. I also attend some meetings at Frisbee Middle School, Eisenhower High School now that I have kids attending those schools as well. I've got to learn that most of our schools in our district don't have on-site therapists or PSWs, psychiatric social workers. I have one of my own kid on a waiting list since last November that I signed him up for help. Till this day, my kid hasn't seen anyone besides his regular counselor that helps him with his classes and talks about his grades and how he could improve. I get phone calls daily from the teachers, and I attend some of his classes to see how my kid is behaving, just to help out to get my involvement there. I'm very happy to find out today that the district approved a future group program for Frisbee Middle School, and that my kid's name is on the list. In September, my first grader was invited after being bullied and being put on a waiting list as well to a boys empowerment program that the school district was going to start, but it never started. I don't know what's the reason. I had been asking the teacher, but she doesn't know as well. Talking to a couple teachers besides her and school personnel, the feedback I get is that it's the same. We need more mental health resources. We need therapists that can help our students address mental health on site daily. We need our children to be supported and to get help with coping skills for anxiety, depression, bullying, and so many other issues that are being ignored. Knowing someone is on site, I believe that our students will feel secure knowing that they have someone to talk to close by. We have kids being bullied, suicidal, self-harm, with anxiety, depression. When kids are feeling these symptoms, they don't perform as well at schools. Students might receive professional support when they are facing crisis, but more chronic issues such as anxiety, depression, ADHD require day-by-day management, and kids and their teachers have much to gain from daily support from a mental health professional. As a parent, I feel the pain of so many kids in our area, besides my own kids, that they need this daily, and weekly, and not only depending I'm sorry, that they don't need this seeing a therapist weekly, but they could see her or him daily, or depending on the risk that the child needs. What can we do to make this happen for our Rialto district students? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. Next we go to Denise Lizarraga. Lizarraga.
Good afternoon, board members. Dr. Avila. As you may know, I came last week. You, Ms. Kelly, said to follow up on what I had mentioned 2 weeks ago, prior to the bullying to my daughter and everything. To this day, I haven't heard from anybody in the school board at all whatsoever, which is upsetting. After the day that I came 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, I went to another district and enrolled my daughter because unfortunately, Rialto Unified School District didn't meet her needs, didn't keep her safe, didn't do what they're supposed to do, keep her safe, help her with her education, and so forth. The district that she's in right now, the school that she's in right now, I haven't got any complaints from any teachers, which I will get at Rialto Middle School. She hasn't got any bullying because of her name or anything whatsoever, which will happen on a daily basis at Rialto Middle School. What gets me mad is, why do I have to take my daughter out of the school, out of the district, for her to receive the education that she needs, for her to feel safe in the school that she actually belongs to her home district, her home school? Like, why do I have to go out of there so my daughter could feel safe? Why can't Rialto Unified School District do the same thing that she's getting at the other district that she's at the other school that she's at? Like, why? Because I know a lot of parents do this because, unfortunately, this district doesn't provide what the kids need. And like Ms. Jennifer said, this is not my first daughter, my oldest daughter, she's 14. At 5th grade, she went to Warner Middle School, Warner Elementary. I walked in on her too, trying to drink pills because she didn't want to live. Because she was getting bullied by the students and by the principal. I don't want to have to go through it with my second daughter, which I already am. And that's why I'm standing up. I have 2 other children in this district. I don't want that to happen for my kids, for my other 2 boys. Something has to be done. It's unacceptable. And for you guys to say, for Ms. Kelly to say to Dr. Avila, follow up, never got a response or anything, that frustrates me and livids me, like, to a point that I'm like, I don't know what to do. Because I have other kids in this district, and I don't want to go through those 2 boys, the same thing that went with my 2 girls. That's why I'm taking a stand now. Because if it happens to my oldest one, and now it happened to my other daughter, when is this going to stop? Like Ms. Jennifer said, until somebody actually commits suicide or dies, that's when you guys are going to take a stand or do something about it? That's my question. Like, when? What are you guys going to do? When is it going to stop? And I hope this time I do get a response. I do get an answer. Because last time, like Ms. Kelly said, to follow up, never got anything from Dr. Avila or anybody in the school board. And that's unacceptable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Lizarraga. Lizarraga. Please apologize. Please accept my apology. I want to pronounce as correct as possible. I just would like to say to you and to Mrs. Wilson that everybody here in the school board is very sorry that you guys have experienced your child's, drastic measures to cope with bullying. Nobody on this board or in this district wants to hear that our students in our schools are suffering to a degree to any degree, much less to the maximum degree where they want to, or they're thinking about taking their own life. So our hearts and at least if I can speak for myself, my heart goes out to you guys, and I'm sure everybody else on this board agrees that you guys have been through a lot, and believe us when we say that we want our staff to follow up, and we want everyone to receive the help that they need. I'll follow up. I personally will follow up with you and with Ms. Wilson. I've got your number. Thank you for leaving your information. I've got your name and number. So if by the next board meeting you don't hear from me, you can come and you can beat me up. You can throw tomatoes at me. I will personally follow up with you. We thank you for sharing your concerns. Sometimes the process, we might not be as fast as we would like it. We have certain protocols, certain procedures. We have certain people who are in charge of looking into certain things, and everyone has a responsibility and an accountability to their school, to their district, to their job. So again, I just want to thank you for coming to share with us your experiences and your concerns, and we want you to know that your concerns are not going to fall on deaf ears. So I personally make it a point to get back to you guys, to all of you. So thank you very much for coming here today and sharing that with us. And again, our contact information for the school board is available at the district office. If you want our number, or if you want my number, just call and ask for it.
I sent you an email when the incident happened in December.
You have to use the microphone because nobody's going to hear that. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Montes. I sent you.
No, I'm not a doctor. I'm sorry. We got two doctors over there.
Mr. Montes, I sent you an email. Back in December.
No, I know. Wait, give me a second. My email, I get bombarded with emails, and I am horrible at responding, and I admit it. But people who know me in this district, when I put my focus in something, or if I give my word, I will do it. If I didn't see your email, or if I didn't respond, I apologize. But if you want to badger me for not responding to my email or seeing it, I'll be the first to admit it. I'm sorry. I'll try to do better, especially as a board president, to respond to emails.
Yeah, because the incident that happened to my daughter on December 12th.
I seen it on the news. We understand. We completely understand. We want to give our staff the opportunity to try to do the best that they can to resolve the issues.
They didn't.
We understand. So I'm making a commitment to you for me to contact you and your family and try to help you guys, if you'll accept that.
Yeah, but she doesn't feel safe in this district, and it's unfortunately.
I understand, but give me a chance to try to help.
Okay.
Give this board a chance to try to help.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so with that, we go on to public comments on agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any agenda item will be granted 3 minutes. I don't have any that were filled out, but is there anyone that would like to speak on the agenda item? If not, we'll go next to comments, section C, number 3, comments from Association Executive Board members, Rialto Education Association, REA.
Good evening, Mr. Montes, Board President, Board, Dr. Avila, Dr. McDuffie, Cabinet. My name is Leslie Chambers. I'm the bargaining chair for the REA, and it is my yearly visit to you, the one time I get to make a demand. So I'm going to demand, I'm giving you the demand to bargain letter. So may I?
Please do.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Chambers. Next we go to California School Employees Association. Do we have anyone from CSEA that would like to speak?
Good evening, Rialto family.
Good evening.
My name is Chris Cordasco. I am the president of Rialto Chapter 203. With me this evening is my newly elected first vice president, Todd Tapia, and my chief union steward, Diana Silva.
Congratulations.
Tonight, the only thing I really like to talk about in the agenda, in the consent calendar, item J, I think it's reference 2.2. It talks about extending a eligibility list. I'll give you a moment to look at that. I have concern about this. Recently in the district, we had a situation where we had some employees experience bumping. They were not very happy. Their administrators were not very happy to lose those employees due to the bumping situation. We have assured them that as jobs become available in the district, that they'll have the opportunity to apply for them. Eligibility lists are a great thing, but having them end is also a necessity. And to have one extended for an entire year, I feel, is detrimental to the bargaining unit, to our members, to be able to apply for jobs. I would ask that you please pull this off and allow us to discuss it with staff. I don't understand why we need to extend this list. There are employees that really have expressed interest in wanting to apply for a position in that area. That's all I have for this evening. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next we go to Communication Workers of America, CWA. Going once, going twice. Next we go to Rialto School Managers Association, RSMA. Hearing none, we go to item C4, comments from the superintendent.
Thank you, President Montes. And just quickly want to send another round of congratulations to Mr. Aaron Thomas, a proud product of our system who earned the California League of High Schools Teacher of the Year County honor. Mr. Thomas moves students towards successful paths, and for me and for many others, there's no power or reward greater than achievement in education. This past Monday, Dr. McDuffie and several district staff members, along with Ms. Dina Walker, joined Board Member Dina Walker at the Dr. Martin Luther King prayer at Cal State San Bernardino. Dr. McDuffie did captivate the audience of over 900 people with his reenactment of Dr. King's Drum Major Instinct speech, which is a 10-minute speech that he impressively memorized word for word as a child and impeccably performed it to a grand standing ovation by the audience. It was a beautiful commemoration by Dr. McDuffie. Thank you so much for representing our district the way that you did at this very special event. And now it's a long list, but a very worthy list. I now want to congratulate our recent honorees from Kiwanis Club of Rialto from Myler High School. First time that Myler High School students are being recognized by Kiwanis, so a big thank you to the Kiwanis members. Recognizing Perry Leitner Jr. and Anais Eileen Andrade. From Rialto High School, Christopher Ramirez and Amber Flores Merino. And then the Kiwanis Club of East Rialto, congratulations to students from Eisenhower, Kiara Perez and Andy Martinez, Clarissa Gutierrez and Andres Torres. And from Carter High School, Adam Harp, Carissa Estrada, Jillian Figueroa, and Gerardo Jasso. We're very proud of all of our students and their recognitions. And you'll see a big smile on the face of our student board member in just a minute, as you're seeing it right now. Congratulations to Rialto High School's cheerleaders. Cheering became an official sport in the CIF Southern Section, and this year, Rialto High School won CIF Southern Section Cheer Championship, so rings are coming for Rialto High School cheer. And as we are planning to honor the Eisenhower High School football team, we'll also be honoring the cheer squad and coaches Streff and Campa at a future board meeting. So congratulations once again. And speaking of CIF, I do want to applaud the efforts of our longtime district teacher and wrestling coach who transitioned into his athletic director position with ease and excellence, Mr. Joe Paluba from Carter High School. Thank you for hosting the first ever athletic symposium last week at Carter High School, highlighting the 6 pillars of character expected by the CIF, which are trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. The very special keynote was CIF Commissioner Rob Widget, who had some very special words of encouragement and advice for our young student athletes. The Citrus Belt team of ADs, coaches, and select student athletes attended and were quite impressed with all of the information presented at this very first symposium. A bridging video will be coming out tomorrow on social media so we can share the success of this very important event. And tomorrow, one important district event taking place tomorrow is Carter High School will have a community safe school forum in which a comprehensive panel of professionals will address various safety concerns and updates. We are partnering with the city of Rialto. Our top city police officials will be in attendance as well, willing to answer the community's questions related to safety. Thank you to our education safety officers and the committee members for holding a series of 3 of these types of events. With the first being at Carter High School, the second at Eisenhower High School on February the 3rd, and the following one, the last one, will be in March at Rialto High School. And that is all I have today.
Thank you, Dr. Avila. Next, we go to comments from the members of the board. And we will begin with the most important board member of all, our student board member.
Thank you, President Montes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Avila. I just want to give another shout out to my amazing cheer squad at Rialto High School. We won the first ever CIF championship, and it's crazy because it's like the first thing ever. So
Fontana is hating. Fontana is hating.
And just want to give my coaches and everyone at Rialto High School and my principal for supporting us. And also this Saturday we won state champions, so we're on 4 years in a row, that 4P. And I just want to say I love you guys and thank you. And I also want to say that I'm excited to attend the school safety meeting tomorrow, like Dr. Avila said. And it is at Carter from 6 to 8 p.m. And just want to say that I'm excited and thank you.
Next we go to Mr. Joe Martinez.
President Montes, I have requested that an under 3-minute video be played in place of my comments. But as they're setting that up, it has to do with hybrid jobs, the hard and soft skills. They follow up on my last board comments.
You still got me to move my chair, didn't you?
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
And the Wall Street Journal reports more employers are looking to fill so-called hybrid jobs. Those are positions that require a combination of creative and technical skills. 12% of all job openings are for hybrid jobs. That's according to a study by the job market analytics company Burning Glass Technologies. Jobs growth for the positions is expected to be 21% in the next 10 years, more than double the rate for jobs overall. In our Work in Progress series, we've partnered with LinkedIn to take a closer look at issues affecting the workforce. LinkedIn editor-in-chief Dan Roth is here with a look at what these new requirements mean for job hunters. Great to have you back at the table. So if I'm interpreting this well, it's not just about mastering technology, it's about knowing how to interpret it and utilize it, right?
Yeah, well, it goes even beyond that. It is, the hard skills get you in the door and the soft skills keep you moving up You have to know how to do jobs like AI. You've got to understand cloud computing if you want some of these jobs of the future. But just knowing how to do the technical skills are not enough, because you have to keep building new skills. We know that by 2020, roughly 1/3 of the skills that employers are going to demand are ones that we don't even know what they are yet. So you can't just know these certain skills and say, all right, I'm set for life. You have to know how to be persuasive, how to be adaptable, how to have great oral communication skills, how to write. You have to be able to do all the things that make us human and help us learn from each other.
So give us examples of specific jobs.
I want to know, what is a hybrid job? What is a hybrid job?
A hybrid job would
What's
be...
a great hybrid job?
Sure. Well, being in cloud computing, the truth is almost all of these jobs are hybrid jobs. If you're doing anything with AI or cloud computing that involve more than just coming in and doing programming, baseline programming, you have to know how to be able to manage large teams. You have to know how to manage other people. You have to be persuasive inside the office and outside the office. That's what we mean when we talk about a hybrid job. It's a combination of soft skills and hard skills.
What can universities, other vocational skills do to help teach these so-called soft skills for these hybrid jobs?
Well, I think you've heard a lot about, well, you need to move into STEM. You got to think only about tech. The truth is you have to have a combination of liberal arts and of these tech skills. You want to be able to be good at science and at everything that makes us relate to each other. I think it goes well beyond schools, though. It is on us to be constantly working on our own skill development. It means taking courses. It means always learning. It means watching YouTube courses, taking LinkedIn Learning. You have to invest in yourself.
This seems so much akin to the debate about doctors, medical doctors, not only having the skills that are required from the science books, but also the bedside manner. Would that be analogous?
Yeah, I think that is. And it goes, I would say that the difference, though, is that the human body is not changing all that much. When all of the skills that we need, no matter what industry you're in or what you do, you have to know these skills. So it's not enough just to say, well, I've learned what I've learned, I've finished school, I've studied in this one particular field. All these fields are converging, and you have to understand, for instance, cloud computing. No matter what you do, you have to know cloud computing. Data science, the most in-demand job, is in demand across every industry. So as these industries and this digitization pushes all these companies together, and we start competing with each other in new ways, you have to know skills that once we wouldn't have had to know.
And it just so happens that these jobs tend to pay better, right?
They do. Well, not only do they pay better, but they're also in demand by more industries, and they'll probably be in demand for longer periods of time. So if you think about, well, look, I want to stay employed after 50, I want to stay employed well into whatever, the new era comes, or if I want to change industries, having these kind of skills make it so that you can be much more flexible.
All right, Dan. All right. Thank you. Good information.
Thanks a lot.
Good to see you.
That's the end. And it was 3 minutes and 41 seconds. My bad.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Next, we go to Mr. Ayala.
Thank you, President Montes. My viewpoints tonight, revolve around how some of us become vulnerable and how we can deal with that. It usually occurs when, and it can be debated, but when our plate is full, when we're asked to do too many things. You can also say the tank is full. But what can we do? Well, first of all, being aware that we have a lot on that plate. And just looking at the video, to me it's disturbing. It is disturbing because when you learn something, you go, okay, I finally got it now. And it took me, what, 3 years, 4 years, I've got it. And then all of a sudden, it's not over. You got to continue and continue. And if your passion ain't there, that's drudgery. That's painful. So there's an equation out there, and there's two sides to it, okay? And we're talking about finances here. How does a household run? You've got resources, that's your revenue, and on the left side, you have your expenses. So you're either going to have to be more innovative and find new ways to find success, or work on the expenses. What is going to be easier? And it's not the same for everybody and every family. But if you focus on that left side, That's another way of dealing with it. So if some of our kids aren't doing well in the higher developed disciplines, you show them that left side how to lower expenses and give them hope and give them time to grow. That's just a short message there. But getting back to our plate is full. You know, sometimes we just need to slow down a little bit. And I'll give you an example. Most of us here have computers. You get on Facebook and you see the haters, positive and negative. Some people charge you in a positive way and some don't. There's 3 little buttons on the top corner somewhere of that page, and you can give those people a rest. And it's okay, give them a rest. And then when the television comes on and you see something that's going to make it difficult for you to sleep at night, give that a rest. And then when you're in the movies and you go see a movie like, I don't want to destroy anybody's hopes, but there's movies out there where you can lose sleep. You know what, just walk out of there and go to the next theater. But give yourself a break from these things. You don't need to go through that all the time. Be aware of it, you know. Give yourself some nourishment, some rest. And you need opportunities to vent, yes, but in a safe place. Not with your children, not with your spouse, and not at work. So where do you vent? At the local bar? Well, I don't know. But I tell you, we need to find a place. I do it with a golf ball, okay? And, you know, just remember, too, that we're all human beings. We all got challenges. That guy that passes you on the freeway, just let him go, move over. Don't try to change his world. And then when somebody comes up to you, I'll conclude with this, okay? I'll just conclude with this. You don't know what they've gone through and what they're going through at that particular time. But I promise you, if you can spend 5 minutes for anybody throughout the day, if they have a need for you, give them your 5 minutes. You'll be surprised how that will work not only for them, but how that will work for you. Thank you for the opportunity just to share a few viewpoints on what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. Next we go to Board Clerk, Ms. Dina Walker.
Thank you, sir. I just had a couple of comments, and I forgot, you know how when you start talking and you forget about what you really started to say at the beginning? So that happened to me when we were listening to Mr. Roach's presentation. There's a question just about the data. And Dr. Avila, if you can have, is John still here? No. If you can just have John just put together from the actual number of where we're supposed to be, a report across all of our subgroups of where we actually are, not just that yellow, green, improvement, it's fake. We don't really know if we're where we are at, really where we're supposed to be kind of grid. I'd appreciate that. The other thing, and then share that with the board so we go from there. The other thing is, just in kind of hearing from the last 2 meetings around parents and their concerns around what's happening with their students, their own particular students and other students on their campus, about having an opportunity to be safe on campuses and be free of bullying. Bullying looks a lot different. It definitely looks a lot different from when I was in school back in the 70s, right? You know, it was run of the day to get chased by boys, right? You know, as soon as you got there, you're like, oh, who's gonna, you know, and that was a thing. And now we know better, and how you know, sometimes those things impact you psychologically, creates anxiety, fear of being in these situations. I want to say that on the dashboard, the chronic absenteeism indicator now, which is a new indicator, but could possibly directly correlate to our school climate, right? I know for a fact I've experienced it with my own children, getting anxiety and then not wanting to go to school, and I'm like, nothing's wrong with you. But then to come to find out, they're being anxious about whatever they're anticipating or something at school, and so that's a thing. So I want to just talk about how do we look at the chronic absenteeism and really measure our school climate on a real way and get students responsive input. And it just goes back to the equity council activity we had the other day, when the young people gave an input on what they'd like to see in their school, right? And we really need to be responsive of what kids want to see in their school and how they feel on the campus and what they want to see and how the campus, what they can do to make them feel safe. Because we always think about what we think is going to make kids safe. So we'll put bigger, larger, taller fences. We'll put more locks. We'll put armed guards. And kids still don't feel safe, right? And I think they feel more unsafe now with more police and all this policing activities than before when schools were more open, when there were less shows of force. So that's just my personal observation. I have not done any intense research on that, so nobody send me a message and say, where'd you get that data, Ms. Walker? But so that's my observation. If we can look at how that correlates and how we can work to improve our school climate. The other piece is around this partnership. So I do not advocate for us to pull kids out and have them lose school time, class time for anything and everything. Because if my daughter had an opportunity to just get out of class just because I'm feeling a little anxious, she'd run out and she'd never be in class, right? But I do feel that we need to have an opportunity to, hopefully, if we don't have, which I know we don't have capacity staff-wise to have an advisor in every class for every minute for a student to go and privately consult with someone, that we can look at what kind of partnerships that we can work with San Bernardino County's behavioral health department, whether it be with their own staff that are fully licensed or the people that are practitioners that can come out as community partnerships to do that. If they don't have it now, be in conversations with them around the grants that do come out around the community partnerships and behavioral health, because that may be able to give us a little more capacity to be responsive for the campuses in particular. I know we've done a lot of things around behavioral health in our new hires in our district and everything, but there may be an opportunity for us to do a little bit something more comprehensive as well, and without straining our budget as well. So that was that piece on that. I'd just like to say, in conclusion, I was at the breakfast, the lunch. I later went on to University of Redlands to see to be in part of a Beyonce mass. Right? It was themed on Beyonce. So, but this was responsive to young people and their view of Mass and communion with Beyonce themes. Had a great time on Monday, just really kind of being in service and listening to all the great messages around giving and hope and things of that sort. So I want to say thank you again, Dr. McDuffie, because that was brilliant, phenomenal. Rialto is having some great opportunities to be kind of showcased, with our teacher who's been honored at the county level, the state level, and everything. I'm like, he's just like on a tour, right? He's like, I'm on an award tour. So I'm really excited about that. Last thing on literacy, we have a little more than a month before Read Across America, our great day of, Read Across America. For all of you, last year was my first time ever going to a class and actually reading on that, on that day. I didn't have my red and white hat though, so I'm going to get one this year. But be thinking about where you could actually go read to someone, to a class or something like that. And if you don't know, we've got how many schools? Elementary schools, 19. Right, I doubt that the high schoolers want you coming to read Dr. Seuss to them. So, but figure out where you can read to someone, even if it's one of those short Dr. Seuss books, to do that. And it's so impactful for you to come in, because I read to older kids last year, and they were like, "Oh, we're getting a reader," And so it was like really crazy, the response and everything, and how it even made me personally feel. So think about that. You got over a month to do that. So I would hope that more people, figure out where they can fit in our district and support, whether our district or your own child or family's district. And we'll see what happens with that. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Next, we go to Board Vice President, Mrs. Nancy O'Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Montes. I'd like to congratulate Aaron Thomas yet again. I've congratulated him several times, but his speech that night was, was just unprepared. He wasn't reading off notes or anything. It was from the heart. And whereas all the speeches had been excellent, his definitely stood out, and I think it is because it was truly heartfelt. And he didn't really dwell on the troubles that he had, but he knows that gifted children need to be taught in a different way. They need to have their needs met a little bit differently, and he does a great job at that. So I was glad to see that. We have an agenda item tonight that we're going to be voting on, which involves the district offering all-day kindergarten, which I am a huge fan of. We have needed it for several years. These kids are more than ready, especially if they've been in preschool, 2 or 3 years before they're old enough to go to kindergarten. They are ready for kindergarten, and to do this half-day thing, I think, is a huge disservice to them. But I also wanted to ask, I know we're approving something or another tonight about related to that, but I also read that Governor Newsom's budget proposal, which if it's approved, he allocated $750 million to provide all-day kindergarten at every school in the state, I believe was the intent. So I was wondering if anybody has thought of how that will affect how much money doing that will cost us if we get a substantial amount from the state.
Yes, Mr. Kelly, that's correct. That's the governor plan for part of his plan, $750 million. You also heard $100 million Governor Brown allocate this year. So there's this is on the top of $100 million. Right. Say additional money. At present time, we don't know how this grant will be distributed. We are definitely going applying. They're called first round, second round. We will be doing a first round, and the deadline is January 31st. I appreciate board approved to bring someone to help us to submit our applications. We're not only going as this funding. We are going to submit with the justification of it's called financial hardship. What that means, we want 100% funded by the state. Right. Otherwise, this program can be 50-50 or 60-40. So that means the district has to come up other 50% of the local funding, general fund, or any other funding source to build those classrooms for full day kinder. So we are going very taking aggressive path. Not only submitting application for the grant money, we're also submitting for financial hardship. And we believe we're in a good position, but we don't know yet how many school districts are going to participate. Right. LA USD is a big, so how this is going to be allocated, that information was not provided to any one of us. It's like a first come, first serve, and depending on how many people are going to submit that first round application by January 31st. They give a short deadline.
And we have our application ready.
We are.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's about all I have tonight. Just congratulations to everyone who deserves a little pat on the back today. And have a good week, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Mrs. Nancy O'Kelly. Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Last but not least? It's you. All right. It's getting late, so I'm going to make it short. I first and foremost want to also congratulate again Mr. Aaron Thomas from Carter High School and really all of the people over at Carter High School. There seems to be a momentum over there with the leadership, with the staff, with everybody over there, the sports. They seem to be on a very positive track. Not that they haven't been, but they're just doing a lot of good things. And I want to congratulate again Mr. Aaron Thomas and everybody over at Carter High School. What an honor. Also, I'll get a big kudos and congratulations to Rialto High School Lady Knights. Cheer. That's awesome, to bring a championship home. So congrats again. I want to follow in Mr. Ayala's footsteps tonight and share a little story. I think sharing stories every now and then is good. It's good. Well, for me to share it every now and then. I don't know if I shared this story before about a janitor who became a millionaire. And I did. I shared it here at a board meeting?
I don't remember hearing it.
Okay, well, anyway.
It's been 8
Okay,
years.
well,
We know he
anyways.
might have.
Okay, well, I'm going to share it again. I'm going to share it again. A janitor, a custodian, honorable man, hardworking man, worked for the Frito-Lay company for many, many years, and one day saw that the Frito-Lay machinery was broken down. They have mechanics that fix, high-paid mechanics, high-tech, that repair the machines. And he happened to notice one day that the Fritos were produced without any flavoring, so they were plain. So they start chugging Frito bags, big bulk bags of Cheetos in the trash, and he happened to say, hey, you know what? Not because I'm hungry yet, but let me take them home and see if I can put some of my own flavoring on them. So they agreed, and they let him go home and take them. Well, he comes back with his own brand of Fritos and pitches it to the CEOs and to the high-level organization. Well, the success of the hot Cheeto that he invented has propelled them to millionaire, who knows, multi-millionaire status. And he so successful that not only is he executive at Frito-Lay, but he's also even hired by PepsiCo to sit on their board, executive board, and he gives these speeches all around the world. Maybe we can, he gets paid big bucks to do it, but maybe he'll donate his time and come speak to our kids and tell his story in person one of these days. But what I like about this gentleman is I follow him and on social media, and every now and then he gives encouraging words. And one of the things that he said that resonates, and I don't know if it's his quote or he's just sharing it, but he said, it's not about how smart a person is, but how are they smart? How are they smart? Not how smart they are. So what makes a smart person? How much money they make, how many degrees they have, their, where they come from or where they live. What makes a smart person? How can you measure how smart a person is based on certain things about them? Well, he said it's about how people are smart, not how smart they are. So when we talk about our students, I think Miss O'Calley mentioned that we need to do things. Maybe it was Mr. Ayala. We need to do things to encourage our students to really think outside the box. What can we do to, who was saying, was it you that was saying about our students? Anyway, what can we do to get our students to realize how they're smart? How are they smart? So I just wanted to mention that, and again, I could see the concern. I also want to piggyback on the concern that if our chronic absenteeism is going up, it could very well possibly be due to some form of bullying that is happening, and we need to take a good look at that. I think there's been a long enough time that people have come to the podium, to this district, to this board to plead for help. And what's it going to take? Whatever it takes. I'm willing to go to the school sites myself. I know any of the board members here, are willing to stand up for those in need. So I really want to piggyback on Miss O'Calley's request to follow up. Let's follow up. And if somebody doesn't follow up, I'm going to follow up. And if I follow up, it's not going to be nice. So let's do what we got to do. I don't want to see anybody coming here that, that their child is going to drastic measures and blaming it on our schools, because no one should have to feel that. No one should have to feel that way. No one should have to accuse us of that. And if it's one person, if it's another and another and another, we can't say that they're just blaming us just to blame us. What they're saying is that we have to take this serious, and we have to look at what we can do to better resolve these issues. So with that said, thank you. Let's get this board meeting started.
Okay.
First item, item D, public hearing, public information, D1, Williams Settlement Legislation, Quarterly Uniform Complaint Report, summary covering October through December 2018, reference D1.1. And that's in the back of the agenda. Consent calendar items, all items on the consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. I'm sorry, did I say public meeting?
Yeah, you started with public hearing.
Sorry.
So we got to finish
It's
that.
public information. Sorry.
Okay.
Under public hearing, it's just public information. So there's nothing, no action to be taken. Consent calendar items. All items will be enacted in one motion unless pulled by the Board of Education or members of the superintendent for individual action. Do we have a motion to approve consent calendar items reference E through J?
I have a pull. So the J22?
J22?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that?
Yeah, which is the CSEA's question.
The request?
Uh-huh. Regarding the eligibility list?
I'll make the motion to approve consent calendar items reference E through J.
Do we,
But she just
pulled. I just pulled.
No, wait. We had a motion. Did we have a second? We had a motion.
Oh, okay. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and then there is a request to pull item J2.
Or discussion.
Okay, to discuss it? Okay. So we'll, do we have any other pulls for discussion? Okay, then if it's okay, can we entertain a motion to approve all items E through J except for J.2?
So moved.
Second, we do have a preferential by student board member.
Preferential vote?
Aye.
Vote by board members?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all items approved, E through J, except for J.22. Would you like to discuss it?
Yeah, so my question is just the, what was the rationale for the extension of the eligibility list? How does that play out, and, you know, the impact on the CSEA and opportunity for employment for
Yes,
people?
I spoke with Rhonda Kramer, lead personnel agent, in regards to this. And really, the extension of the list would actually give opportunity for the two secretaries that were bumped an opportunity to be reemployed through that eligibility list. If the eligibility list isn't approved, then the list will expire and they won't have that opportunity. So they're extending the eligibility list for that reason.
To give them a chance to reapply.
Correct.
Okay.
Because to give them a chance to reapply because they're already on the eligibility list, so it keeps them active for the openings that'll come up.
That's correct.
How old is the eligibility list?
So not even a year old, 6 months.
Says here February 10, 2019 to 8/10, so it's 6 months. It expires February 9th, 2019.
This was the original.
Okay, yeah.
And then this is what they want to extend it to. So if we don't extend it, those ladies are out of a job on the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm asking is the concern from CSEA about the eligibility list. How are we addressing that? Because why then does that not give them the opportunity to?
Yeah, I don't understand the concerns. I don't know whether it was something in regards to because prior, they talked about the two
people being bumped.
employees being bumped, and this is a direct result of allowing them the opportunity to be eligible for employment. And if not, again, they fall off the list, and they're not eligible to do that. So that's the reason for the
They would have to reapply
extension.
with everyone else.
Correct.
Okay.
Does that sound correct?
Right, because that's...
Could I get some clarification, please? I want to make sure how you guys
interpret it.
wish to move forward.
Well, basically, what he's saying is correct. It limits for just those two employees that are currently on the eligibility list. There are other people that were bumped that are not currently on that list that would like to apply for that job as well, and it eliminates the ability for them to apply.
Okay.
So it's not that they're out of a job. It's isolating it to just the people on the list who can apply for upcoming positions.
Oh, okay.
So you're wishing to open it to everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we're, as a union, obviously, we're here for the entire bargaining unit, not just the two members.
Okay. You know, this could set precedents, though.
Absolutely.
And that's what you wish.
Well, yeah, I mean, to have a job locked up, a job classification to locked up for a year is detrimental to the bargaining unit. I mean, I understand, like I said before, I understand a 6-month eligibility list, but that's why it has a dead end, if you will. And I could even see extending it if we had, 10 or 15 people on that list. I believe we only have 2, from what Dr. McDuffie is saying.
Okay, so let's say we open it up. Just for instance, I want to make sure that this is what you want, because once the precedent is set, then there will be no eligibility list. That means everyone will have to apply each time.
Well, maybe if the eligibility list had a lot of people on it, maybe they'd feel different about it, but
right.
Obviously they feel that it's unfair that it's being locked for only 2 individuals.
Let me clarify what I said really quickly.
Okay.
I said that the 2 employees are on the eligibility list. I don't know exactly how many. There could be more people on that eligibility list.
We don't know.
So I guess what I'm asking is, even if part of my concern is that I was unaware that this was going on. So what I would like is to at least discuss this, have the ability to discuss this with personnel, and find out if this is what's best for our members.
Can we pull that item until we get more information about it?
And that was my question was, what was the rationale for extending the eligibility list as opposed to closing it, opening up a new one, so that you have people have new opportunities, or people who are already on there to reapply or whatever. So what was
there time to bring it back?
No, it's not. It's just, we'll have a meeting before that date when it expires.
February 9th
is the meeting date. That's it. So got one meeting.
Okay. Is that something that we can work on in the meantime?
Yes.
Bring it back on the next agenda. Okay.
Thank you.
But the list expires on the 9th. When's our first meeting? In February.
It's on the 9th.
That is the meeting. Yeah.
Oh, that is.
That's what I'm saying. Is that you really don't have any time, but I'm like, actually, you do, because that's a meeting.
If you'd clarify how many numbers, if you'd like to keep an eligibility list, how many numbers for it to qualify to roll over.
Yes.
Yes. So if it's 5 or 10.
I'm in the same boat here. I would like to know more information. So I'd like the opportunity to meet with staff and discuss it.
Okay.
So, Rhonda Crane will reach out.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, do we have a motion to table this item for the next meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Preferential vote?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
I'm rusty.
Yeah, it happens.
All right. I'll go on to discussion action items. K. Item 1, accept the fiscal year 2017 through 2018 annual audited financial report completed by Clinton Larson Allen LLP as presented at no cost to the district. Reference K 1.1. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion?
Yes, discussion. Let's not fall asleep at the wheel, at the helm. So if
it's happened before.
It has, and so let's make sure that our staff have opportunities to go to conferences, and stay abreast of whatever they need to learn about these indicators, because they can be a little tricky, and we'll use that information to kind of keep things moving in the right direction.
Sounds good. Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Item K2, adopt the resolution number 18-19-21 for the district to be eligible for the full-day kindergarten facilities grant program, FDKFGP. Maybe I do need my glasses.
Yes.
And allowing the district to provide full-day kindergarten instruction. The superintendent or his designee shall execute and deliver any and all required documents to carry out this resolution and associated agreements. Reference K2.1 through 3 in the back of the agenda. Any discussion?
Yes. I know that.
I'm sorry. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second? Okay, discussion?
It's a good example here of we need input and direction. Obviously, if
we need classrooms first.
you have protocols here that must be met. So let's not put the, what is it, the
cart before the horse?
The cart before the horse. So let's just be careful. But with that being said, it's a good thing, right?
Yes.
But we brought it up, and so hopefully it doesn't rest on deaf ears.
Well, what we're approving tonight is with the company to, I guess, design or figure the cost of the classrooms or something like that.
Yeah, it's required the board adopted a resolution to submit the application.
Okay.
If we receive the grant, we'll have resources to provide these services.
Yeah, once district awarded the grant, we're going to bring back to you for acceptance. But this is simply submitting an application for the grant.
Because we brought this up, the $750 million that was allocated, and there's 1,100 school districts, so if you do the math, it goes real quick, and we don't know what it's going to take to qualify.
Mohammed said we got in on the first round, and so
hats are off again. Hats are off again. So, okay.
Okay.
I have a question. So my question is just, I know that it indicates about the 10 schools. Is that all of our schools? That I'm just trying to figure this is for a plan for all of our schools, because it talks about facilities and increasing the facilities. What is it that we would have to do? And then if this wasn't an awarded particular grant, kind of where do we sit? If we don't get the hardship, where do we sit in reference to being able to still do the full day kindergarten if we had to pay a 50 or 60% or 40, 60
I'll have Mrs. Chu, and I asked same thing myself, and I said, really, Ms. Chu, can you explain this to the board?
Good evening, board member, board president. My name is Iris Chu, agent facility planning. We have the projection data from our enrollment office about several months ago. And according to the projection data, the district's own projection data, school to school, after school and to school survey, we find only 2 elementary schools may require additional classroom according to the data calculated based on the 4-day kindergarten taking into consideration in that projection. So we did school-to-school survey of all 19 elementary schools, spoke with the principal, just double-check if the data is correct, what their view are regarding to their own schools, and then we find that due to various programs and other things that the data probably didn't reveal, we find 10 schools we need furthermore analysis in terms of adding facilities either the restroom or classroom to make up the difference in the housing capacity. So then we have a consultant to walk the site, particularly the 10 school site, and we find only 9 will probably have a higher need and a better chance to get the state fund.
Okay, so the 9 out of the 19, 10 of them need to. Okay.
And we're pursuing the application for 9 elementary schools.
Okay. And then the other question was, you still haven't looked at the feasibility if we don't get the 100%, how that's going to impact us, and we will be able to still do full day at least 10 to 19 kindergarten campuses for kindergarten.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we will, once we know the status of our grant, we will bring a detailed plan to the board and for your approval.
Okay. Excellent.
Comment.
Yes, Mr. Rial.
What an opportunity here. Okay, so let's think about it. At that level, kindergarten, you know how important it is to have a self-contained room.
Yeah.
Because we've been down this before with parents coming up saying, my kid had an accident, my kid had an accident, and why there wasn't somebody there to supervise it? But if you have a self-contained room, down the road we'll provide better services for these kids at that level. And not only that, gives us flexibility with maybe some of the other special needs departments. So here's an opportunity coming our way. So
Totally agree.
Yeah.
That's expensive too when you're doing self-contained, because that bathroom, that's plumbing, that's
everything.
That's a big expense. Don't seem like it is, but it is.
Okay, did we vote on number 2?
We were just in discussion, so now he needs it. We call the question.
And nobody else?
Well, we were kind of discussing number 3 too.
No. Let's finish number 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
Vote by board members.
Aye.
Any noes? Okay. Next, we go to item 3, ratify the agreement with school advisors to assist with the identification and procurement of state financial resources and required agency compliance with the application of full-day kindergarten facilities grant program, FDKFGP. Got it this time.
Good one.
Funding. Sounds like you're at the eye doctor.
Cover one eye?
Reading the chart.
Or the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Right. Funding for 10 elementary schools and the establishment of financial hardship, FH, status by the Office of Public School Construction, OPCS, services for $32,000 for the full-day kinder program and $20,000 for the establishment of financial hardship, FH, assistance for a combined total cost not to exceed $52,000 effective January 2nd, 2019 through January 30, 2022 to be paid from Fund 40, Special Reserve Fund.
Fund 25. This is the amendment.
That was the
Oh,
original.
that's right. That's right. Scratch that. Fund 25. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second. For clarification, Fund 25 is Capital Facilities Fund.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Do we have any discussion?
Just a question on the school advisors. If we're looking to apply on the first round, so if we don't get the first round, are they going to stick with us to do another application for the second round once the responses come back on why we didn't get first round, or are we going to have to pay them another $52,000, whatever the money is, to have them support us in the second application for the second round?
No, there will be, once we know the status first round, we're going back and second round. As you see, the contract extended to 20, for long term.
Okay, but what I'm saying, with no additional cost other than what we're seeing right here.
That's correct. That's what we kept the long term, not knowing what's going to be the status of the first round.
Okay.
And how soon we know the status, so we keep the long term.
Okay.
Any more questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 4, K4, adopt resolution.
Yes, you can read it. You can read it. No.
I got a stuffy nose anyway.
Adopt resolution number 18-19-22, excusing the absence of Board President Edgar Montes from the Wednesday, January 9th, 2019 regular meeting of the Board of Education. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Mr. Montes is abstaining.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice President Ms. Kelly. That takes us to K5.
Yeah.
Approve an amendment number 1 with the Cambrian Group for an increase of $10,000 to the existing contract amount of $58,735 for a combined total of $68,735. The cost includes travel and training in the areas of strategic thinking and class, the social order, prior to June 30th, 2019, to be paid from the general fund. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Any questions or concerns? None?
Just a comment. This has been a long time coming.
With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None? Next, we go to item K. 6, approve the recommendations of the Administrative Hearing Panel, AHP, stipulated expulsion, case number 18-1930, reinstatement hearing, case number 17-1850. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Rialto Unified School District will be held on Wednesday, February 13, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Dr. John R. Casalunas Education Center, 182 East Walnut Avenue, Rialto, California. Materials distributed or presented to the Board of Education at the board meeting are available upon request from the Superintendent's office. Tonight, we will adjourn the meeting in honor of 2 great leaders in the district. We were informed that Mr. Jose Joe Gomez, the night custodian from Chavez Huerta Center for Education, passed away in a fatal traffic accident. And yesterday, former Cole Middle School principal from the 1970s and 80s, Mr. Joseph Cook, passed away. His services will be held in Farmington, Utah, where he resided. Our thoughts are both with the Gomez and Cook families in their time of great loss. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. And at this moment, we'd like to ask our student board member to make a motion to adjourn.
President Montes, I'm sorry. Are we going back to closed session?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just a few minutes. But then that means we'll adjourn when we come back. So.
Ma'am,
You can excuse her.
Yeah.
A suggestion to release her?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, you have to stay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school BIGS program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary. Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a BIGS. We'll get the materials over there. Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids right here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids right here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids right here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays
to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over to our
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this Big Brother Big Sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over to our
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this Big Brother Big Sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years, where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to give back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years, where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to give back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years, where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, so this is a base. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids right here. It gives me what do you call motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years, where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, so this is a base. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids right here. It gives me what do you call motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years, where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is the base. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with kids here. It gives me what do you call motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is the base. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with kids here. It gives me what do you call motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school BIGS program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over the rest.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with kids here. It gives me motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school BIGS program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over the rest.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with kids here. It gives me motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school BIGS program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over the rest.
program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to give back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to give back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to give back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me gives me motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over the
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school age child.
And I like this Big Brother Big Sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with kids right here. It gives me motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over the
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school age child.
And I like this Big Brother Big Sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with kids right here. It gives me motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, so this is a big. We'll get the materials over at
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to give back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, so this is a big. We'll get the materials over at
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to give back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years, where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over the
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years, where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over the
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years, where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years, where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is a big. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids here. It gives me what do you call motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years, where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is the base. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids right here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years where community adults will partner with students that they call littles and mentor them. I was less familiar with the program that Big Brothers and Big Sisters implement now, where they take high school students who would be willing to be bigs for the littles in their school district. It's right in line with our strategic plan, action plan number 6 for mentoring programs after school. So really excited about the Big Brothers Big Sisters after school mentoring program.
On today's Bridging Futures, we showcase the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Hi, my name is Anna Ortiz, and I'm the program specialist in charge of the high school Bigs program for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I run program here at Preston Elementary, Casey Elementary, and Kelly Elementary.
Choose amongst yourselves. Team captains will then get the materials. Team captains, this is the base. We'll get the materials over there.
Our program involves high school students that volunteer their time to be a big brother or a big sister to an elementary school aged child.
And I like this big brother, big sister program because mostly it gives me a chance to get back to my community and all that. I like to help with like kids right here. It gives me what do you call, motivation for what I'm going to do later in my life.
I love having a big brother because he helps me with my homework.
They're super excited on Mondays to come and collaborate with the older kids because they feel like they're building that relationship and they feel like someone does care for them.
I've been working in this program for about 2 months, and my favorite part about this program is getting to see these kids' smiles and getting to help them.
My favorite part about Big Brother Big Sister is that that they help you with your homework.
I'm familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs that have been around for years.
Ooh, goodness. Is Dr. Avila coming back?
They went to go get him. We forgot him.
He's in bed.
Right, it was past his bedtime.
Somebody let him know we're done.
No, we weren't back there napping.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Move to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Nothing to report out of closed session.
Nothing to report out of closed session. Thank you, Mr. Martinez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hit the gavel time.
10:33 and 10:30.